In this video, we'll be looking at section 9.3.1, sine, also known as sine of x. And our essential question will be, how do I use the sine function to help find the side length measure of a right triangle? So we're going to be focusing on right triangles, and we're going to be using the sine idea to help us find side length measures. So the important thing that we need to really get down, and one of the main reasons why I'm splitting this first trigonometry section into two, is really understanding the triangle and how it's going to work for us. So what I'm getting into is we're going to be dealing with only right triangles. And it's really about being able to properly label your triangle given an angle of focus. Let's call it a focus angle. So the focus angle will usually be given in degrees, or it'll be our variable. And since for this, I'm just going to use the variable, and then we'll draw some other triangles to see how this focus angle can move around. So let's say I put my focus angle here. The right angle will never be the focus angle. This will never be the focus angle. Will either be given in our one of our other two angles will be our focus angle. So right here, since we're writing this here, this is my focus angle. This given angle, which we're just calling x, is my focus angle. So if this is my focus angle, now I can label my triangle. Well, the side across from the right angle is always the hypotenuse. Across from the right angle. The side across from the focus angle, so if I'm going across from my focus angle, we're going to call this opposite. So the side across from the focus angle is our opposite side. And then the side that is touching the focus angle, not the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse will always be touching a focus angle, but the other side touching the focus angle we will call the adjacent side. Okay, so we're going to use some abbreviations to help us. Opposite will be OPP. Adjacent will be ADJ. And hypotenuse will be HYP. So those are going to be some abbreviations we use. So with this said, we're given a focus angle, and then we can label opposite and adjacent. Hypotenuse is always across from the right angle. Okay, so let's just practice some labeling so we can get comfortable with this. So we're going to practice labeling given a focus angle. So we'll be given the focus angle, and then we have to label the triangle correctly. So first, let's just going to draw a few different triangles. I haven't even written my focus angle in yet. I've only put in the right angle. I haven't decided where my focus angle is going to be. It's going to be one of these two. So I'm just drawing a couple different triangles. Okay. So once I write in the focus angle, then we can start labeling on the different sides. But right now, I can already label one of the sides. I can already label that hypotenuse. So for each triangle, it's going to be the side across from the right angle. So if this is my right angle, I go across from it, and this is my hypotenuse, which we're going to say HYP. If I go across from my right angle, this is my hypotenuse, HYP. So here's my right angle, and this third triangle, I'm going to go across from it, and there's my hypotenuse. One more time, I'm going across from this, and there's my hypotenuse. Okay, so now next I'm going to do is I'm going to write in our focus angle. That's like me giving you the focus angle, and then we have to decide what is opposite and what is adjacent. So let's put my focus angle here for this one. I'll put it here for this one. Put it there for this one, and let's put it there for this one. So I put in my focus angle. This is me giving you that focus angle. This is not something you have to come up with. It's been given to you. And now we can start labeling our sides. Well, the opposite side is always across from the focus angle. So if X is my focus angle, the opposite side is going to be this bottom side down here. I'm going to look across. Here I'm going to go across the triangle to that side, and there's my opposite side. The third side, the side touching my focus angle, but not the hypotenuse, so the third side, this side right here, is my adjacent side. It's touching my focus angle. It's a part of my focus angle, but it's not the hypotenuse. So now we've labeled the triangle, and it's incredibly important that we can label the triangle correctly. So across from the angle of my focus angle is my opposite side. The focus angle decides what's opposite and what's adjacent. So we have to use that given angle to make these decisions. And now my adjacent side is touching the angle, but it's not the hypotenuse. So here's my focus angle. I'm going to go across from the focus angle. There's opposite. And the side touching, that's not the hypotenuse, is adjacent. And the last one, I look across from the angle, the side on the opposite side of the angle, and that's opposite. And then the third side that's touching the angle but not the hypotenuse is my adjacent. Okay, so now we can properly label a triangle. Let's use our ability to label to help us solve. So when we're looking at sine of theta, sine of x, so this next section will be how to use sine. So say I'm given this triangle. And we're going to be told that this angle right here is measured at 33 degrees. And then I'm given that my hypotenuse is a length of 7. Find what x equals. X is going to be my side length. Okay. So this is what's given to us. This is how a problem is given, and then we are about to go through the motions to solve it. First thing I want to do is label everything correctly. This is my hypotenuse. This is my opposite. And then this is my adjacent. Now sine lets us do this. So sine states that sine of my focus angle, so I'm going to put that value in here, is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Sine of the angle is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Sine of our focus angle is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So what we're going to do is we're going to write sine. Then I'm going to put the number in for the focus angle. My focus angle is 33, so I'm going to put that in right here. And this is equal to opposite. Well, for my problem, my opposite is x over the hypotenuse, which for my problem is 7. Okay, now what this sine thing is it's kind of like you can think of it like as a plus sign or a minus sign. It's going to change the 33. It's going to do something over here and change that number. The way we do that is we use our calculator. So since a lot of us will be using our cell phone calculators, I'm going to show you how this works for most cell phones. So what you want to do first is if you have your cell phone calculator, if you turn it sideways, it'll give you more options. And now I can type this in, sine 33. I can type that into my calculator. So I'm going to type sine 33. I'm going to get a decimal. Let's round in and say 0.54. So I did sine of 33. I typed sine 33 in. So let me show that again. I hit the sine button, I hit 33, and then I hit equals. I got 0.54. So I'm going to say 0.54 is equal to x over 7. Now what we can do is we set up our proportion and cross multiply and solve. So I'm going to go over 1, and I'll cross multiply and then solve for x. So 1 times x is x equals, and I do 7 times 0.54. I get 3.78, like that. Let's give this some units. We'll call this centimeters, so our final answer will be in centimeters. So we just cross multiplied to finish that up. 1 times x is x, and then 0.54 times 7 is 3.78. And that's really the gist of it. So we just plug in everything. We first thing is we're given a triangle, then we label it with the opposite adjacent hypotenuse, and then we plug our given information into this formula right here. Sine of our focus angle, sine of 33, is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So sine of our focus angle, 33, is equal to opposite was x, hypotenuse was 7. Plugging everything in. Now we use cross multiplying and solving to help us figure out what x equals. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.